we finally have our 2026 NBA Finals matchup. The San Antonio Spurs will be hosting the New York Knicks for game 1 tomorrow. And boy, I cannot wait. Oh, I know this is going to be such a good series. Now, I know in my last video, if you haven't checked that out, make sure you go check that out. I went through one move that every eliminated team should do. If you checked out that video, I know I said my next video was going to be a blockbuster trades video, but what kind of basketball channel would I be? What kind of NBA channel would I be if I did not talk about the NBA Finals? Now, to start off, obviously, congratulations to both of these teams for even making it to this point. The New York Knicks have only had 2 losses in this playoff so far, both coming at the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. And since then, they've been red hot, completely undefeated, 8-0 in the last 2 series. I think 11-0 is the total streak. So, I mean, that's on the line tomorrow in game 1. Are they going to continue that winning streak? We going to see. But San Antonio Spurs, obviously, they went to game 7 in a hard-fought series against the former defending champions, Oklahoma City Thunder. And they come out with the win in game 7, and they looked really, really good in that game. Now, to get into more of the nitty-gritty of what will be the NBA Finals series, I think it's going to come down to our 2 big men, Victor Wembanyama and Karl Anthony Towns. I think it's going to come down to those 2 guys at the end of the day. Yes, New York Knicks have Jalen Brunson, one of the best point guards we have in our league. Yes, they have OG Anunoby, one of the best wings we have in our league. Yes, they have Mikal Bridges, who has been playing amazing on this playoff win streak. Yes, the Spurs, they have Steph Castle, they have Dylan Harper, they have De'Aaron Fox, Justin Champagnie, he's been knocking down his threes, especially in game 7. Yes, both of these teams are uber talented, and obviously it's going to come down to more than just the 2 big men on each side. But if we want to talk about X factors, I think that the X factors are the 2 big men on each side, and especially Karl Anthony Towns. Now, the reason I say Karl Anthony Towns is going to be a huge factor in this series, and as I've said in the past, he's been a huge factor for each and every series the Knicks have had. In this series, it looks like, at least to start game 1, it's probably not going to be Victor Wembanyama guarding you. So he will have a well shorter defender on him, whether it be Champagnie, who I think is about 6'6", or Devin Vassell, who I think is 6'5", 6'4", something like that. He'll have a well shorter defender on him. So if he can take advantage of that matchup, and if they continue to go with that philosophy for game 1 and game 2, by the time game 3 hits, possibly you could be up 2-0. And now you have Victor Wembanyama having to switch on to Karl Anthony Towns, which would then operate, Karl Anthony Towns point guard era, where you can sit him out at the top of the key again, and he, just sits there and reads cuts and reads back screens and all this kind of stuff, and can dish the ball out to whoever, whether it's Brunson, OG, Mikal, Josh Hart. I mean, it's so many wrinkles offensively that the New York Knicks can pull off, and it's really dependent on how Cat plays, I think. Now, on the other side, like I said, for Wemby, he's probably going to be stuck on Josh Hart for game 1, especially, kind of like he was stuck on Alex Caruso in game 1 against OKC. Obviously, they're going to dare Josh Hart to shoot, which, is a good game plan. But at the same time, I do believe Jalen Brunson might be able to handle the defense that the San Antonio Spurs are going to bring out. I think he's going to handle it a little bit better than Shea did. I think that they have better shooters with OG and Mikal out on the wing. Obviously, Josh Hart, not really much there at the 3-point line. He had one really good game against Cleveland. But obviously, you have OG, you have Mikal, you have Cat, who can stretch the floor. You have Deuce McBride coming off the bench. You have Landry Shamet, who didn't miss a single 3 in the conference finals. He's coming off the bench. So there's a lot more shooting on that New York Knicks team as opposed to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see what San Antonio does on the offensive side of things. It's been pretty, it's almost, guaranteed that we're going to see OG Anunoby up against Victor Wembanyama. And it's proven to kind of be a little bit tougher of a matchup for Victor. Obviously, OG, he has the strength of a big. He's agile like a wing. He's quick like a guard. I mean, one of the top defenders we have in our league will be going up against Victor Wembanyama. Obviously, given a lot of size in the height department, but OG can use his other tools and his other strengths against Victor Wembanyama and cause him a lot of trouble. Now, is San Antonio gonna get a lot of screen roll action, try and get a switch, try and get Wemby just downhill? Are they gonna just let Wemby catch it on the elbow, catch it in the post, let him work from there and kind of, let him survey? If it were up to me, I think at least game one, we do a lot of sets for Wemby and to kind of just let him get the rock and let him get into space. Now I say that because unlike OKC, obviously they stuck Isaiah Hartenstein on him for the back half of the series, and he had his ups and downs, but I think it was a better job than when they stuck Caruso on him in game one. Now I say to kind of let him operate because the Knicks don't have the rim protection that OKC did. Obviously they stuck Hartenstein on him, so Chet is there to roam and kind of be that backline protection for Hartenstein. But for the New York Knicks, if OG Anunoby's guarding them, on the back line is Cat, maybe Josh Hart. I mean, like, those are things, those are advantages you want, and those are matchups that you want for Victor Wembanyama. So I think maybe, you get a lot of actions where he's in the low post, he's at the top of the key, he's at the elbow, and you kind of let him see if he can, break down OG Anunoby a little bit, and not so much, having to try to be like the top scorer, but seeing if he can get other guys open, seeing if he can get guys on cuts, kickouts. And obviously, you want him to go score the ball. But I think at least for game one, you kind of keep your options open with that philosophy. But maybe they'll stick with what they have been doing that was working against OKC, which is that 45 action where you have a double screen at the top where the point guard can pick a side, whether he wants to go towards the 4 or go towards the 5. And, that was providing a lot of success for San Antonio and OKC. Now, obviously, New York is probably going to have a game plan for that. So you're going to have to adjust and you're going to have to find something different. And I think that difference is letting Wemby work and seeing what we can get with that. And of course, in the regular season, these teams matched up 3 times, I believe. New York coming up with the dub twice. I'm not really too invested in the regular season series. This is the playoffs now. Like I said, New York hasn't lost in, it seems like, years. San Antonio just came off a really tough series against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're really confident. So, I mean, I'm not really too worried about what happened in the regular season matchup, but if I had to make a pick right now, I do have the Knicks winning in 7. At least I hope we get 7 at the very least. I really don't care who wins. I don't have a dog in the fight, but if I had to make a pick, I would probably go with the New York Knicks in 7, just because I think Cat is going to have a really, really big game 1 and 2, especially if they don't stick Victor Wembanyama on him. And I think if they go up, if Cat has really big games in game 1 and 2, I think that they win those games. And if they're up 2-0 going back to New York, I'm not saying it's going to be a sweep. I'm definitely not saying that. But even if they win one game going back to New York, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for San Antonio to come out with this series. But I'm just here. I'm just enjoying the ride, man. 7, at the very most, 7 more games of the 2026 NBA season. Sad to see it go, but man, I'm excited for this NBA Finals.